4G Life family, every creation for God. How are my people doing today? I hope that you guys had an excellent weekend and are enjoying this week off. A lot of you guys are parents and a lot of you guys have children out for spring break, so enjoy. But I hope this Monday brings you many of prosperous blessings for today. I wanted to go ahead Friday. I was going to do a message that I had told you guys about, but it was Freestyle Friday. I did not get to it, so I'm going to get to it today, and I hope that it blesses somebody's spirit. I am bringing you guys along on a journey with me as I record for EC4G Thoughts and Expression podcast. So let me go ahead and click in with them, and let's get it rolling. Hello, EC4G Thoughts and Expression family, every creation for God. All of us are God's creation, and all of the things that we do should be with Him in mind, correct? I hope that you guys are having an excellent day today. This is Monday. A lot of you are going back to work. Some of you can't because your kids are out for spring break, and someone got to watch these children, right? So, like I was telling EC4G Life family, I'm recording YouTube, doing it simultaneous, trying to knock it all out so I could get back to my babies and my husband. As you guys know, on Friday I did a cast that was more of a freestyle. I had a message that I had previously written that God had gave me, but I did not get to it. I let the Spirit lead me where I went. And so today, that's what we're going to do on this beautiful Monday morning. So, Lord, lead me, God. Lead us, God, because we family, right? So, the message that I had wrote was called You Know My Name. Tasha Cobbs has a gospel song out that's called You Know My Name. And I'm not gonna lie, the very first time that I heard that song it was a little bit outside of my realm that I typically go towards, but when I heard it, it struck. Lord, when the Lord is in the middle of something, I don't care where you are, what you used to, He will get to you. Do you hear me? He searches for His people. He saw me and found me in that song. The melodies of that song, the simplicity of it was so beautiful. And if you guys haven't heard it, please check it out. Like I said, Tasha Cobbs, You Know My Name. Anyway, I'm going to be speaking to you guys referencing Luke 19, 1 through 5. And let's get into it, you guys. So today, like I said, the title of this episode is called You Know My Name. And I pray for God to lead me and to give me this word. And He did. So let's jump into it, can we? Okay. So Luke 19. It is at a time when Jesus came in and was passing through Jericho. Okay. And the word states there was a man by the name of Zacchaeus, Zacchaeus, okay? And Zacchaeus was a corrupted tax collector during those times, okay, in Jericho. And he had bread, he had money, okay? He wasn't hurting, okay? And what Zacchaeus did is that he had heard about Jesus. And he decided that he was going, he was curious that he was going to go and try to see about what the hype was about, basically, when it came to him. And, Zacchaeus was short. And so when he had got to his position, he stopped. And he carried himself right up the tree. Well, for some reason, my incense ain't wanting to stay lit today, you guys. Bear with me, please. God, just cleanse this place, God. Okay, I just need a little cleansing, fuel to this fire that I got in me for Him. But like I said, so he climbed this tree. And the reason why he climbed the tree was because he was short. He wanted to be able to see Jesus when Jesus came through, when Jesus was passing on his way. So he climbed the tree. Like I said, he was very, very rich. And then, in, like I said, Luke 19, it states that when Jesus had made it to where Zacchaeus was at, Jesus made it to where he was perched at, and he instantly looked up. Now, you guys listen to each word because it's all relevant, okay? Jesus made it to where Zacchaeus was, and he instantly looked up. And he saw him and told him to hurry and come down because he was going home with him. Can you guys imagine that? You just, you sitting up in a tree and whatever. You like, okay, I want to check out this star, everybody referenced Beyonce, God bless her. But I want to see Fred Hammond. I want to see John B. I love me some John B, you guys. I'm sorry, I love me some John B, but for current reference, I want to check. I'm gonna sit up in this tree because I heard that John B, I heard that Erica Campbell, I heard that Tina Campbell, girl, you can blow. I heard that Fred Hammond and was coming through. I heard that Kim, and because yes, I do listen to secular music. It's love. A lot of it is love. Is speaking of love, and God is love. So judge if you want to, okay? But I heard that Kim was coming through. I heard that gosh, this sounds like a good concert. I heard Jill Scott was coming through. Could you imagine if all of them were together? Oh my gosh, can you imagine how expensive those tickets would be if they were all coming through? But yeah, I heard that they were about to come, that they were sliding through, they were about to ride through my area, and nobody comes through my area, so I'm about to sit up in this tree. I don't need to talk to them. I just want to see them in the flesh. I'm always looking at them on YouTube or listening to them on, other streams of music and everything. So I'm just going to sit here because I want to see them in the flesh. I want to see them walking. I love you, John B. I just, if my husband watches this, side note, let me just say this side note. I have to, because we laugh about this. This was 8 years ago now, but me and my husband, he always knew okay, I have been a lover of John B since John B came on the scene. I love his music. I love it. His music fits my vibe. It speaks directly to me. John B, that's my space right there. You understand? Everything, every album he's put out is just, I love it. I love it. I love it. His vibe. Anyway, okay. So yes, you guys can tell I'm a super fan. But side note, like I said, this is off of the message, but I just had to tell you guys this because you guys are my people. So I'm going to share it with you guys. So EC4G. As much as I loved John B, I had never seen him in person. Had never went to a concert to see him in person. Always wanted to, never was able to. My husband, early on in our relationship, he found out that this was a truism, and he knew. I mean, to this day, no lie, no joke, you guys. I listen to John B every single day. Usually, and now I'm such a lover of his music that I'm passing it down to my children. I got my babies, especially my youngest, my 3-year-old and my 1-year-old. When I want to calm them down, I am so serious, you guys. I turn on They Don't Know on YouTube. I click the video up. They Don't Know by John B. And when I do that, when I tell you they instantly get quiet, well, they instantly get quiet and they listen. They zone in. If I'm in the middle of changing my 1-year-old's diaper and I need him to be still, because they don't never want to sit still, so they constantly going and they don't want to move, and they get mad if you tell them to lay still long enough for them to do it. I turn that on and he sits and he's quiet and he listens while I change him. Oh God, keep doing what you're doing, John B, okay? But anyway, my husband had surprised me with tickets to John B. I lost it, okay? I lost it. And when we went, it was goodness, what was the name of that spot? He goes there quite frequently. The name is escaping me right now, but it's in Oakland. Oh goodness, I know. Anyway, I'm sorry, forgive me, but he it's a venue that he frequents often. in Oakland. He went there, and we were sitting there and we vibing, and my husband is looking at me because as we are as the music, as John B is out there singing and getting his vibe on, I'm singing along with him every single word. I'm going along with him every single word, and so I'm singing, I'm vibing. My husband, he laughs at me now because he's like, he was like, you were having a love moment with John B. I look up and I see him. He looking at one of the songs he was singing. He's looking at you looking at him. Y'all both singing back and forth to each other. I paid tickets for you to be able to have a love experience with John B. It's like I wasn't even there. I crack up, which is not true. I talked to him a little bit, but I was just so thankful that I was able to finally have one of my many dreams come true. I love his music. I love it. So anyway, like I said, I'm a huge fan. I listen to it. I listen to him every day. And side note, another song that my children listen to, and then this one's on the gospel realm, that my children listen to calm down, is the song, what is it? Her. By, what is it? Isaac. Oh goodness gracious! See, you could tell that it's Monday morning vibes and stuff because my mind is sleeping right now. But when I give my love to her, I'm thanking you. I sound bad. Loving her like Christ loves the church because he told me to. Anyway, anybody that knows what it is that I'm talking about or who it is that I'm talking about, I know his first name is Isaac. Anyway, forgive me. Anyway, so yeah, if you guys know what I'm talking about, just put it down in the comments who he is. I may tag the video, and I probably will. I'll probably tag the video. Let me make a note to try to do that because that song is so beautiful. It really speaks to how a man should love. How a man should love. It's beautiful. You did an excellent job, sir. With that song. Anyway, in the comment, I gotta tag it. I'm also gonna tag John B, you guys, because add to his repertoire of fans. But anyway, imagine seeing your favorite artist, your favorite actor or something, and you know that they're coming, and you perched in a tree trying to look just to catch a glimpse of them, and they just out the blue decide to look up and tell you, hey, come on out that tree, I'm coming home with you. Can you imagine what your reaction would be? And that's what Jesus did. He stopped, he halted exactly where he was at, and he told him, he said, hey, come down, I'm going home with you. And remember in Luke 19:3, is it 19:3? Yes. Zacchaeus, he was curious about Jesus. He wanted to know who he was. And which means he had never seen him. He had never spoken to him. He had never encountered Jesus. He had only heard word of mouth about Jesus. And yet and still, even though they had never met, yet and still Jesus stopped what he was doing. Or he stopped. I don't want to say what he was doing because Jesus knew, but he stopped in his walk exactly where Zacchaeus was at and did not ask him. Now this is very poignant for you to remember. He did not ask him what his name was. He didn't say, hey, you up there, who are you? He didn't ask him what his name was. He didn't ask him why he was there. This day and time, you come up to somebody and ask them that, they'll be like, well, that's none of your business. He didn't have to ask. He didn't have to ask. Jesus didn't have to ask. See, firstly, you got to think about it like this. Zacchaeus being perched, him being up in that tree was not only because he was nosy. It really wasn't. You got to think deeper. You got to search deeper, you guys. Come on, the lines are there. They're there in the word. Every line, everything. But sometimes God is so good that he often will bless us with the word inside of the word, inside of the word. You just got to look, And Zacchaeus was wealthy. He was wealthy, right? Oh, excuse me. Ooh, okay. I hope you guys can see me good. This is getting brighter. I hope you guys can. Anyway, he was wealthy. He was a man in his position during that time that would not do that. He wouldn't. A man that's got a pocket full of bank and about himself is not going to be sitting up there trying to fan out, trying to perch up and be nosy. Like, okay, you tell them about this, but okay, I heard you. But you're not seeing like kings and stuff perching up in trees during that time, trying to just get a glimpse of some man that has no relevance in their life, they think. But he was perched. He was, and so you have to think about that. And he was short. Now look, I'm 5'7", which is not short, it's not tall. Especially for a woman. It's not short, it's not tall. But you are not going to find me climbing up in the top of a tree for nobody, unless something chasing after me or something like that. Now if it's a bear or something like that that's coming after me, hey, yeah, I'm about to sprint up that tree. But just to sit to get a glimpse of somebody, it's not that deep for me. You're not going to find me doing that, okay? But he was little, but he did have status, as I said, and he found his way up there, and then he sat, and then he sat. And he sat, because the word didn't say, okay, immediately as soon as he came, Jesus sped up. He sprinted so that he could get there for him. No, he sat and he waited patiently for, Jesus to appear, for Jesus to come on his way, And he waited. And just, can you imagine on top of all of that, can y'all imagine how uncomfortable that was? Ain't no pillowcases up there. Ain't no pillows up there. He's sitting on a big branch. He's sitting up in the top of a tree just waiting. Can you imagine the discomfort? And he still waited. He waited until he saw what he came for. And what he came for was Jesus. That is beyond curiosity, you guys. That is beyond curiosity. This, to me, my breakdown of this speaks to... let me fix this a little bit. This speaks to a yearning. It's more of a yearning that he was having. Not, it wasn't just curiosity. You got to look between the lines sometime. Look, real talk. I was curious about Popeyes. Their chicken sandwich, when it first came out, I was hearing about how people were fighting each other and how long, for real, how long those lines were. Like, I would drive by sometime and I would just see them wrapped around and I'm like, oh no, not me, not doing that. I'm not doing that. I was curious about the taste, because everybody hyped those sandwiches up to no end, right? I mean, media, word of mouth, everybody was just like totally hyping it up. So I was very curious about it. But that still didn't make me willing to go and stand in those long lines. And one thing is, that's one of my pet peeves is long lines, but even beyond that, excuse me, you guys, even beyond that, it's just like, I can't do that. But on top of that, it wasn't that deep for me to sit up there and sit in a line to try to get a sandwich. Excuse me, you guys, I'm trying to fix this, you guys. Please bear with me. Okay, I hope you guys can see me a little bit better now. But yeah, I wasn't about to sit there and sit in no line just to get a piece of meat between two buns. I'm not gonna stand in those long lines, or sit in the drive-through for a long line for that, right? But Zacchaeus did. Okay, so that speaks to something that goes deeper than a curiosity, However, look at it from another viewpoint. If I hadn't eaten in days, now I'm telling you I wouldn't have did it, but listen, perspective changes things. If I had not eaten in days, if I had not eaten, even like, okay, I get off my shift at 3 a.m. and I haven't ate since 10 a.m. the following morning, I'm starving, I may be willing to wait in those lines, It's all about what you go through that determines what you're going to do, right? And it was the same with Zacchaeus. Excuse me, you guys, while I take this sip break real quick. Side note on this as well. Every morning, it's like coffee for me now. I have my little coffee too, but every morning I try to wake up and I drink a little lemon water. I add a little ginger and a little oh goodness gracious, Monday morning brain, come on, wake up, wake up, wake up. Ginger and turmeric, there you go, to it, into some ice water, and a little bit of pepper, because pepper activates the turmeric, if I'm not mistaken. It's so many health benefits that comes to it, and me being a woman that has multiple sclerosis, but thankfully blessed to still have the use of my legs and my limbs. Praise God for that. I drink this because it often helps with inflammation, as well as it's so many other health benefits that comes along with that. But I make it at home for myself, but you could also get it at the store. And this is not an endorsement. Nobody is paying me to say this. I just want to bless someone with the information that I got, because once I found out and I did it, it blessed my life tremendously. And if I could help somebody else not to be in pain as aggressively as I often was, then I will. So just, if you suffer from me, I have a lot of lower back pain, and before I started drinking the turmeric and ginger mixture, like I said, you have to add pepper to it as well. You could also get it as a little health shot. It's like in a little juice bottle. I wish I had it. Maybe I'll do a video and add it to it. But you could also get it in the grocery store. They usually have it over in the section where kombucha and those drinks and stuff were at. They usually had the little shots for it. But before I started taking that, no lie, no joke, y'all, I was having to take, I stayed with Tylenol. My doctors had prescribed me ibuprofen, high dosage ibuprofen, but with research with that, I knew that long-term use of that could be detrimental to my body, my organs and everything, with long-term use of that, especially with the dosage that they gave. So I would just use Tylenol. But I was popping those Tylenol. Do you hear me? I was popping them. I was having to take like 6 to 8 a day just to try to get through the day. I mean, I got a lot of kids, you guys. I got a lot of kids, and I got a lot of work to do, and oftentimes, I'm in the bed because physically it's just difficult, and anyone with multiple sclerosis understands what I'm talking about. It is one of those frustrating autoimmune deficiencies that to the eye, to anybody else, a lot of people don't understand or empathize with multiple sclerosis, because from the outside we look like we're fine, like nothing's wrong with us, and no one understands what's going on internally with your body and how your body is feeling as a result of what's going on with it. It messes with your limbs. It's a very painful situation. But I have a lot of lower back pain that I deal with daily, and like I said, I was taking a lot of Tylenol just to try to be able to manage the day and take care of my kids and stuff. Sitting up even like this, like if I had to sit in the chair like this for any length of time, it would mess with me, y'all. I couldn't do that. I can do the podcast and I can do the videos because I can break and I can stop and I can rest when necessary. When you at a job, like an office job and things of that nature, it's just very difficult doing that. But like I said, I was doing that, and then when I was blessed to hear, I believe it was Tabitha Brown, I want to say, check her out, I love her. She had spoke about, I think it was her, had spoke about that. So I said, okay, I'm going to just try it, just to see. I think she was talking about her health issues that she was having at one point, and she started doing that. I think, don't quote me on that. But I said, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and check it out. I checked it out, and when I tell you guys, it has blessed my life. And so, I don't take, the only time I really will, honestly, because you guys are my people, I'm going to be honest with you. The only time I really take pain pills now is when I'm having like extreme migraines, or and that's usually, you know, right around the time of, you know, that time of the month, you know what I'm talking about. So to deal with my pain management now is I drink my water every morning. And honestly, I drink it in the morning just to start the day, because, you know, drinking lemon water will help with the circulatory system and kind of like wake the body up. So I drink it in the morning, but if I'm feeling any pain throughout the day, I go and I grab some and I drink it to help to, it doesn't always take it completely away, but it eases it where it's not as extreme as it normally would. So I hope that in itself blessed somebody. I just had to talk on that. And at some point, I'll start doing things. I keep telling you guys, I'll start doing like little recipes and stuff. But that's a build up. I'm not ready for that right now, but I will eventually do that, you guys, okay? So let me try to find my place, you guys. I apologize for that, but I really hope that helps somebody. And if you know somebody that deals with, you know, pain, inflammation type pain, you know, you may want to tell them. I can't swear by it for everybody, because everybody's body is different. I'm telling you what worked for me. So it wouldn't hurt to try, you know. It's a lot of health benefits to it. You can run it past your doctor and see if your doctor agrees, if that's what you want to do. But let's get back on task, you guys, okay? So, like I said, it's the same with Zacchaeus. You know, somewhere within Zacchaeus, there was a need. You know, there was a desperation to experience Jesus, you know, that extends to a greater level than just curiosity, you know. And, you know, we are made of mind, body, and spirit. Again, he was wealthy. I can't reiterate that enough. But hear this, you guys. Hear this. Money can't buy peace. Money can't buy peace. I don't care how much you have. It can't buy peace. A lot of times, money will add to the dissolution of peace, to be honest. And you know what I'm saying, right? And money can't buy salvation. You know, you can't buy yourself into heaven. You can't buy yourself into the good graces of God. You can't. Because he's the one who blessed you with it to begin with. You know. But God sees to the soul of you. He sees through the BS. He sees through the facade. He sees you. You understand? And outwardly, this man appeared more than okay. You know. During that time, wealth was displayed. It wasn't subdued. It was, you knew who had the haves and the have-nots. You knew who had it and who didn't, okay? And he looked fine. But curiosity was the symptom that led him to the cure, which was the cure. God is the cure. Jesus was the cure. His curiosity led to the cure, you know. So God graced Zacchaeus with the spark to want to see him, to bless him with the opportunity to know him. He gave him that curiosity. Like, I'm going to sprinkle a little curiosity. I got to bring him in. I got to bring him in some way, you know. And he did that to bless him. And not by word of mouth, but he went to his house to speak and to sit and to talk. So this sinner that inwardly had a desire to know him would know him in the flesh, not by other people, their accounts. God, so beautiful, right? God, I just love how God moves. I love his humor. I love I just love how he orchestrates him. And God, I always say this, God is a beautiful artist. I love how he puts things together. Okay. But like I was saying, you guys, so he blessed him to know him, not by other people's accounts. And the love of God, the many ways that he displays his love is definitely immeasurable, you guys. So I'm going to bring this back to the top for you guys. Let this sink in, all right? He knew him. Jesus was on his journey, right? He still remembered Zacchaeus. He still remembered him, and he brought salvation to the house of a sinner. Before your first inhale, he created the world. He created the stars. He created the sun. He created the mountains and the skies with you in mind already. Before you took your first breath, he already had you in mind, y'all. He did. And thousands of years before any of us were to be, he already knew your name. He already knew you were going to be. He already knew it. So why in your day-to-day routine, and your mishaps, and your trials, your lows, your highs, why is it that you choose to forget him when he never forgot you? I had to take a pause for the cause to let that sink into somebody's mental. Why forget him when he's never forgot you? I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what your situation is. God has not forgotten you. God still remembers you. Ask yourself, are you remembering him? Are you remembering him? Just allow him in. Just tell him, God, you're welcomed into this frustrating moment for me. And I'm going to ask you to do what you do, because what I'm doing is not working. So I had to say that. But so why do we forget him? For the knowledge that if he didn't forget us when we weren't, why would he forget us now that we are? And I mean that by saying, if he didn't forget us before we even took our first breath, before we were even put into our mother's wombs, he did not forget us. If he did not forget us before we were even us, why would he forget us now that we're here? Now that we're going through the struggle, now that we're going through life's journey, that he already knew was going to happen. Why would he forget us then? He had a whole lot of things to do. He was creating the heavens and the stars and the earth. He was creating the world. He was creating the galaxy. He was creating it all. And even with that, you were still in his mind. He was still like, okay, no, but I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to him. I'm going to get to her. He remembered you then, so he remembers you now. So don't you forget him. Don't you forget God, and don't you forget to include him in all your mess and in all your happiness. Do not forget to put him in the midst of it all. Do you hear me, you guys? Because he has not forgotten you. Listen, as my pastor said, my previous pastor, listen, listen, listen. He knows your name. He knows you. And you are not alone. In your darkest moments, that's the time for him to shine, y'all. In your darkest moments, that's the time for God to shine. And he will. Sometimes God will let you go through things and get to your lowest, so that when you're there, he can step in, and you can't give anybody else or anything else or any other circumstance glory but him. He will make sure that you know his name too. Just like he knows yours. All right. So I hope that you guys were blessed by this. This was a little message, but I really just wanted that to sink into your mental. He knows your name. I hope that you guys enjoyed this message. And like I said, you guys please subscribe and support this ministry. Drop me a message of love, encourage. Everybody needs a little encouragement, and I am no different. I am a speaker of God's word for God's people, but I need encouragement too. So if you guys drop me a little message of love, I would appreciate that. A little message of encouragement, I would appreciate appreciate that. I appreciate those that have listened. I appreciate those that have watched. And I ask you guys to just subscribe and share. And I hope that everything that I said blessed somebody and helped somebody to be encouraged yourself. To be encouraged to know that I'm going through it. But that's exactly it. You're going through it, which means you'll get to the end of it. There is an end in sight. God is going to bring you to the end of what you're going through now. Okay? You're going through it now for a reason. Trust the process, but believe it's for a reason, it's for a season, it's for a moment in time, it's not for always. The moment is not always. Two separate words, two separate meanings. Moments don't last always. That's why they're called moments. So when you're going through something, keep that mindset of knowing this is a moment. This is a moment, good or bad, even with the good stuff. Because with the good stuff, you need to remember that it's a moment too, so that you could appreciate and live in that moment and embrace it for what it is, so that you could cherish it. And if it's a bad moment, my EC4G family, understand that that's a moment too. And like I said, moments don't last always. All right? You guys have a blessed and prosperous Monday morning. And please be disciples of God's word too. And share this message and share the word. If you don't want to share the message, you know it's all about God. God get the glory. If you speak on his name or speak about what we talked about today, that's still giving him glory, and that's ultimately what we need to do. It ain't about me. It's all about him, you know. So please do that. And please check out www.ec4g.com. ec4gcreations.com. It is the apparel line that is all about God. Like I said, EC4G, every creation for God. We are all God's creation, and we should be creating everything for God. So let's do that. Wear it, share it, and remember, every time you put on any of that merch, it's discipleship and everywhere. I hope you guys have a blessed and prosperous day.